Welcome to another episode, everyone. That Latino community speaks out about Ashley Gonzales. In fact, they say that this is just par for the course. This is normal activity in their culture, and stop trying to hide the facts. Another says that it's not their fault. They're not racist. They didn't do it. And so therefore, she doesn't have to apologize. And no Latinos should be apologizing for Ashley Gonzales' racist rant.
Ashley Gonzales does represent the Hispanic community. I'm getting kind of tired of seeing Hispanic people, Latino people getting into comment sections talking about, no, she doesn't represent us. We love all people. No, if you go to Texas, if you go to California, there are a lot of Hispanic people that love saying that N-word, hard ER. In growing up in the Hispanic community amongst Latinos in Texas, I noticed that a lot of them love to turn a blind eye to a lot of things. When it's convenient, they might sit there and be like, oh, we don't stand for that. That isn't a representative of our community, blah, 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 blah. No, Ashley Gonzales was a woman who was emboldened by her community. She went this long unchecked. A lot of Mexicans, a lot of Latinos don't know the difference between racism and prejudice. Sure, there are many people of color in many communities all over the world who are prejudiced. The systemic racism enacted towards all of us, especially Black Americans in America, in the United States, is something to be said and talked about, especially when many non-Black communities of color love to utilize that proximity to whiteness to inflict oppression upon Black people. Ashley Gonzales literally got into the police force, and I think from what I saw in that video, she was describing how she was utilizing her position of power to inflict harm on a Black person, right? Unfortunately, when you grow up to be an adult, you represent a lot of things. You represent your parents, you represent your family name, you represent your community, you represent the job you're tied to. You're a representative of something. If those entities, institutions, family units let you go that long with that behavior to where it then got publicized, that is a representative of all those entities, those communities, those institutions. It is a failing on all of those things. I'm so sick of so many non-Black communities of color, I'm sure even in the Black community, there's a lot of colorism. There's a lot of behaviors that everybody just sees, many vile things that are said behind closed doors and nobody checks it. The influential people don't check it. The leaders of the communities don't check it. They'll sit there and go, well, nobody that those horrid statements are made about are here, so we're just not gonna say anything. Like, I don't need to say anything. It's okay. They're not gonna say that in real life. Like, in public, they're not. So I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to check it. But then things happen like this. Ashley Gonzales is a representative of her community because it's her community, our community, that lets these people go unchecked for far too long with their racism. Ashley Gonzales, a lot of the times, these Hispanic people genuinely believe that acting like this gives them proximity to whiteness. You are never going to be accepted as a white person. You are never going to be welcomed into the white community, into institutions of power. Entities that have power, like the police force, like the military, like certain groups of white people, they literally welcome you in just to use your dumb ass. But too many of y'all genuinely believe that it makes you different than other people within your own community, different than Black people. It doesn't. We are all one. And just because some of you decide to dip your toes, tap into, hell, some of y'all dive deep into oppressive tactics in order to try to differentiate yourself, it doesn't. It's all in vain. It only makes you look stupid, and then you enact harm on others while doing it and trying all that shit out. Ashley Gonzales is a representative of the Hispanic community. She's representative of a community that let her go unchecked up until now. And even now, y'all aren't checking her. You're just ostracizing her. Oh, we don't claim her. Oh, she's not a part of us. She is a part of us. A lot of y'all do the same things behind closed doors.
Oh, no, say it ain't so. She said, she's clearly Hispanic, that a lot of y'all do the same thing behind closed doors and that you have emboldened Ashley Gonzales with your silence. And I've been wondering myself, where are all of these podcasters calling this out? But it's not necessarily their duty, I suppose. Ashley Gonzales is her own person and said what she said, and she just expressed how she really feels. She has since offered some half-hearted fake apology like they all end up doing, but what really matters is what she said at first. That's how she really feels, not the apology. The apology is always manufactured and never authentic, and hers was not either. That's why I have not even covered it. But the lady there said it, that they let Ashley Gonzales go along with this rhetoric for however long, knowing that this is how she felt. Ashley Gonzales alluded to the fact that she did this and spoke like this in the police department with her coworkers. We know that this is the regular vernacular there in these police departments when they're talking about they're going to kill an N-word today. She wants to be one of them so bad, a police, and thinks that she's one of them because she's a police, that she now has proximity to whiteness, that she says all of this sort of stuff, has these white supremacist talking points to cozy up and coddle these white supremacists in hopes and aspirations of getting next to them, not understanding what anyone with any sense, with a modicum of intelligence understands. Anyone who has just had a cursory look at history would understand that these individuals will never accept you as one of them. You will never be one of them in their eyes, ever. We know this because of our history in this country and with these people. These people, meanwhile, they don't know that. They're just slowly finding this out. Some of them are still just extremely delusional. They still don't get it. Even after Trump has his Gestapo military group out there slamming them face down on the ground, cuffing them up and escorting them out of the country on a daily basis. They still don't get it. But some are awakening to the realization, to the fact that they will never be accepted as one of them, no matter how hard you try, no matter how many times you bleach your hair blonde and put in blue eye contacts. It doesn't matter. You'll still be regarded as one of them, not one of them.
The racism and colorism issues in the Hispanic and Latino communities, and acknowledging and educating yourself on Black history and their oppression and how it goes hand in hand with the oppression of every other minority, and apologizing for the racism that has happened on behalf of the Hispanic and Latino community towards Black people is not kissing ass to another race. It's doing the bare fucking minimum. Y'all continue to be mad at my comments, but it's true. Look at the way y'all treat morenas. Darker skinned Hispanic and Latinos, you treat them terribly. Look at the way you treat Afro-Latinos. Look at the way you treat indigenous people in the Americas. Like, there's even a well-known saying in Latin America, especially in Mexico, that, oh, all the ugliest women come from Oaxaca. And it honestly goes to show just how uneducated people are, because if you knew our history, you would not be racist or colorist. And if you were educated, you would know that Hispanic, Latino, Black, and Indigenous communities have so much shared history. All of the things that are praised and loved about Latin American culture comes from our indigenous ancestry. And I hate to break it to some people, but apparently some people need a history lesson. Our ancestors were enslaved. A genocide happened against them. Our men were systemically killed and our women were raped to create mestizos. The reason there are so many issues and discord and prejudice amongst minorities and Black people together is because of racist white propaganda that is preached to us to keep us from uniting. And when you fall for the racist white propaganda that is causing discord in our communities, you are a colonizer and you contribute to the hate and violence and lack of safety for Black people and minorities across the entire world.
the Hispanic people. We do not support this kind of behavior, and this message is to all the Hispanics out there. Just because you hear the N-word being said and you get a pass, do not say that. This allows other Mexicans and other Hispanics proximity, and people like her are using it in the wrong context and in the wrong way, and this is not us. We are better than this, and we have to do better than this. This is an example of what corruption, discrimination. Can we see what's happening to our communities right now? We're being hunted down. We're being hunted down, and we expect the Black communities to stand.
Do not need to apologize to the Black community for what Ashley did, because we did not do it. It's crazy to me to see so many videos of Black people using that as an excuse to say they support ICE, to say so many horrible things. The people who are doing that, they're just as racist as Ashley, and you don't deserve no respect. So I'm not gonna apologize for that. For the Black people that like us, we like you back. If you don't like us, it's fine. We don't need to be kissing butt or anything because we didn't do it. It's crazy because they always use an excuse to like discriminate on us, and if we say something, then we're racist. Like, for example, when Jada over there in New York was assaulted, it wasn't even Latinos or Mexicans, and they were blaming us already. They were doing protesting, and they went crazy saying they hated Mexicans, and it wasn't even Mexicans. And then they will do trends making fun of Mexican women, that we look like fridges. When we defend ourselves, they will say that we're racist. So every time they do something to us, they want us to apologize for what? We didn't do anything. So if you are posting those videos saying that we are racist and we don't like you, maybe we don't like you not because of the color of your skin, but because of how you guys only use the one person as an excuse to treat all of us bad. And when one Black person treats us bad, we don't go and do protesting and do all this crazy stuff. So yeah, like the people that are there, oh, I'm sorry. Why are you sorry for? Are you racist? Or why are you saying sorry for? You know, for me, it's ridiculous, honestly. I have never harassed any Black person. They have harassed me, and I have never done that. And I will not do it because I'm not that person. But I'm not going to apologize for something I didn't do. That's just ridiculous.
Hey, Gonzales.
Yeah, and so she's hell-bent on not apologizing, as we heard, and encouraging everyone else not to apologize. And the thing is, it is not about whether or not you are racist in particular. No one is asking you to apologize for something that someone else did. I certainly am not, and I don't believe that my people are either. What we are asking you to address is your anti-Black culture, like the first lady did. And to address and chastise Ashley Gonzales or people like her. When you see them in the community, to nip that in the bud immediately, and not to sanction and subscribe to that hatred with your silence. It's not about you apologizing to the Black community in particular if you are not the culprit. It's about you addressing the anti-Blackness that is within your culture that produces individuals like Ashley Gonzales. But to avoid that, you put it off on Black people as usual, play the victim, like you like to accuse us of being a victim and playing the victim all of the time. It's really the other individuals all of the time that really do it. She went on and on about how Black people, take one incident and judge them all the same and are upset with all of them or treat them all badly. Really? What are you talking about? Just gaslighting, making things up, excusing why she doesn't, and justifying why she doesn't want to apologize or feel like she needs to apologize, her or any other Latin person, to the Black community. No, I don't care. No one, keep your apology. They be fake anyway. You said what you said. We know how you feel. Only a weak person wants an apology from you. Keep it. Once you done said what you said, I don't want it from you. I know how you really feel. And it's not what you're saying within your apology. That's not how you really feel. Whatever that prepared apology is that your handlers put together for you, that's not how you really feel. How you really feel is what you said before that caused and prompted the apology. So I never seek one. You've been exposed, and I proceed accordingly. Now, what my people do, I don't know. Oftentimes, I'm very different than my own people. I think very differently than a lot of black people. I think very differently. Yeah, trust me, I think very different. So I don't want your apology. Home girl, keep it. Shit that shit out and flush it down the toilet where it belongs because it's not real anyway.
This reminds us of the anti-blackness, colorism, and racism towards black people that exists in our communities. Not only is this about condemning the actions of Ashley Gonzales and all of her hateful racist comments, it is about holding our friends, our family members, and other people in the community accountable. Do you know of any of your family members or friends who casually use the N-word? Are you doing anything to stop them? Are we continuing the erasure of Afro-Latinx and Black Latinx people in our communities? Are we holding ourselves accountable for the anti-Blackness and racism towards Black people that exists in Latinx, Latina communities? Are we forcing other Latinx, Latina creators to speak out against the racism clearly displayed by Ashley Gonzales? Let's not make this about how you're not individually racist, but about the ways that anti-Blackness and racism towards Black people exists in our communities. Especially because Ashley Gonzales was a police officer and directly affects the lives of Black people in Houston, we need to hold ourselves accountable to not allow this type of racism to exist and to condemn those in our communities who say these things.
Members of the Latino community, Hispanic community, we need to have a chit chat. If you haven't seen, go watch that video of Ashley Gonzales, the police officer, who decided to go on Snapchat and post an entirely racist rant using slurs and being a racist piece of crap towards the Black community. And the one thing that I noticed a lot in a lot of these videos in this matter was a lot of us commenting, not all of us. Like, oh my God, this is horrible, racist, but it's not all of us. But let's be honest, it's quite enough of us. And we see it. I understand that a lot of us have the mindset of like, it's not us, and it's not us, it's the majority, but enough of us do have that mindset. Let's not forget, the Latino community in itself has a lot of colorism and racism within itself alone. And we don't call each other out enough. And we need to start. And instead of thinking of a mindset of like, oh shit, if like what came to your mind at first when you saw that video immediately was like, not me. I didn't say the word though. Instead of going like, damn, I am very worried for the victims, the Black people that this woman has ever arrested, because she abused her power. There is no doubt in my mind that she probably arrested some people just because they were Black. And
so to translate, what she's saying is when this scandal broke, instead of Latino individuals, Hispanic individuals, however they prefer to be referred to, instead of them chastising Ashley Gonzales or being upset with her or any of that, they just wanted to absolve themselves like the prior woman did and say, we don't have to apologize or whatever. It wasn't me. It's not us. It's not me. I'm not racist. They're all saying in the comments, she doesn't represent us. She's not one of us. We disown her. They said all this sort of stuff. But they're saying, no, it is you. And instead of, apologizing then to the black community, as again, you don't owe an apology. But if her words injured an entire race of people and you don't subscribe to what she subscribes to, and you're denouncing this, then why wouldn't you want to do that, for one, whether you did it or not? Excuse me, if someone who was representative of your community did it, then yeah, you can be perceived as being just as guilty on somewhere. You're not responsible for what someone else does, but if you don't call it out either, then again, your silence represents complicity. And instead of anyone focusing on the victims of Ashley Gonzalez's harmful rhetoric, instead, they wanted to gaslight and make it clear that it was not them and that this is not how they feel. When, in fact, as we can see, their own community is saying, stop lying. This is how you feel. This is how all of you feel in the community. You use the N-word all of the time, the hard ER. That's what they said. They use the hard ER all of the time. Regular basis. That they are extremely racist in their culture. Not towards the individuals that hate them. They kiss their ass. They're not racist towards them. You never hear them say a bad word about white people. I never hear it, man. Now that the more and more I think about it, I mean, even over the years, even in prison, I never hear him talk about it. This is crazy.
You know what? When they tell you that sometimes a lot of Hispanics think that they are like proximity to whiteness makes them better than black people, and we like to be defensive about it, but it's fucking true. Like the evidence is right in front of your face. So what we need to do is ask ourselves, why do we continue to let this mindset run rampant in our fucking community? We need to take accountability, and we need to teach our children better. We need to better ourselves. Otherwise, things are never going to change. And let's think about the victims more rather than think about how this makes us look.
You guys are trying to do, bro. You guys are literally just trying to use Ashley Gonzalez as an excuse to finally go at the raza. Yes, finally showing you guys' true colors, like these videos, which I'm about to show you. Now, I know that I already made a video yesterday, but this one has a different message. Now, some people in the African-American community is saying that Ashley Gonzalez is a direct representation of all Mexican Americans in the US. But one person has never been a representation of all. Because if you guys remember, Latinos were also standing up for you guys. And even yesterday, when everybody gathered together in Houston to denounce Ashley Gonzalez, look who was in the back, a raza person. I'm not gonna beg fools to like the raza. If you guys don't like the raza, you guys don't have to like us. All I'm saying is, do you guys remember this? 5 years ago, April 25th, 2021, do you guys remember how nobody blamed the whole African-American community? Chat, we were only blaming one specific bad apple. We blamed that one bad apple then. It's only right that you guys return the favor and blame the one bad apple, in this case, Ashley Gonzalez. I don't agree with anything that Ashley Gonzalez said, but chat, if you guys are gonna select the whole entire raza and blame them, you guys could come and see me for the ones.
I think the majority of people can agree that what Ashley Gonzalez said was extremely racist and is extremely wrong. And that type of rhetoric has no place in modern Western society. especially a society like the United States where everybody's a melting pot of different races. And it's wrong, even more wrong, because Ashley Gonzales is a police officer. Well, as of right now, she's a police officer pending an investigation into the incident. Now, that's not the problem. The problem that I'm seeing is the way
she's been fired.
People who are...
She's no longer a police. She's been fired. The other dude making these excuses, gaslighting. That's all they're doing is gaslighting the black community. They do something, they get caught, and then somehow it's still our fault. There's still something wrong with us. This is just the American way.
Are responding to that incident. People are blaming Ashley Gonzales while blaming the Latino community and labeling Hispanics, Latinos as racist individuals. That my whole group of people are racist and that Ashley Gonzales is a representation of that racism within our community. That is completely false whatsoever, because you cannot pinpoint racism to one ethnic group. Racism is a human problem. And you can, if you want to go with that logic, you can pinpoint racism in any race, any ethnic group. White people can be racist. Asians can be racist. Black people can be racist. Hispanics can be racist. Russians can be racist, so on and so on. You get my point, right? Everybody has the potential to express racism. So the response to that is very ignorant and narrow-minded. You cannot blame an entire community because of the choices of one individual made. What Ashley Gonzales did was her own fault. It was could have been her, whatever. It's her own individual fault that she said that. We all grew up in the Hispanic community. We've all heard racist things, but it's up to the individual on how they want to take it. That could be, what I just said right now can be applied to different ethnic groups too. I'm sure everybody out there has heard a lot of racist things coming from their grandparents or whatever, not just Latinos, white people, etc. So the way you combat racism is not through more racism. The way you combat racism is attacking the individual who said the racist comment. That's how you combat racism. I mean, and you can't live off of stereotypes. Human nature is very complicated. Just because I voted for Trump and I vote Republican does not mean I'm not proud to be Latino. That does not mean I'm proud of my heritage.
That's exactly what it means. Sell out. I'm done with you. You voted for Trump. I knew it. Because here he is gaslighting again and making excuses for Ashley Gonzales. Says that the person, that she's the one that needs to be attacked. But have you attacked her? No, you have not. And yes, it is absolutely true that she is not a representation of everyone in her community. She represents herself, and again, no one should be apologizing for her and how she really feels, not her mistake. It wasn't a mistake. This was just her expressing who she is, and that's okay. I don't think my people are looking for love from anyone. As he said, it's not a Latino thing, it's a human race thing. The human race, he said, can be racist. Yeah, all of them against black people, the whole human race. The entire human race. Black people are not welcome anywhere and have no allies anywhere. Are not loved anywhere. Just did a piece about how black people are treated in China, how they're treated in Asia. It doesn't matter, bro. All right, you go to Russia, it doesn't matter. Despised everywhere. It's not about putting a blanket on a Latino community, as this individual has indicated that black people are doing. Your own people are calling you out and saying that this is your regular culture. You yourself just said that you grew up hearing racist stuff. He said, so if you hear from your grandparents or whatever, so you heard this sort of stuff in your household yourself, yet you're saying not to put Ashley Gonzales in a basket with everyone else to separate her, but you're asking us to separate her from a culture that you yourself just admitted when you were growing up, you heard racist stuff from. And so did Ashley Gonzales. And this is why it spilled out in the way that it did. With her, we hear your own people admitting that you use the N-word with the hard ER, and that you guys want so desperately to be white. That, you do all of this stuff in hopes of proximity to whiteness. So it's not about us just blindly, when I say us, I mean black people. I am black through and through. And so it's not just about us putting everyone in one basket as it relates to a whole culture based on what one individual said. Of course not. I would not want to be held accountable for something that some other person went off on a rant about that does not represent how I feel. Absolutely not. Don't try to tell me that's how I feel. I get that. But we're talking about a situation where your own people are saying that this is what they've been taught, that it's racism and colorism within your own culture. They've said this time, and not just in these locals, they've said this time and time and time again, this stuff has been coming out. And we're talking about a culture and the people that you yourself just admitted that you even heard this racist stuff growing up, but then to justify it, to gaslight, to minimize it, to not take accountability, you want to put it on the whole human race. Yes, I've heard racist stuff growing up, but everyone has. Everyone has. Everyone can be racist. The whole human race. We're not talking about the whole human race right now. We're talking about Ashley Gonzales and you and your people and your culture and what you've been taught and what you believe about the people who you want to come out and fight and die for you. We're talking about you. Let's stay focused. Let's talk about that. They never want to talk about that. They never want to have that conversation. They want to gaslight and put it off on everyone else. In his case, he puts it off on the whole world, the whole human race. No, let's talk about Ashley Gonzales. Let's talk about you voting for Trump, about you hearing racist stuff yourself in your household growing up. Don't want to have that conversation. And this is why we can never get anywhere. This is why I can't respect their positions on this stuff, because they refuse to take accountability. Every time something happens, they have a reason, they have an excuse, and they refer back to something that happened as the other individual did with the mask on. Remember that, I don't even know what incident he's talking about. Remember that I was in prison. Remember this in April of 2021, 5 years ago? We didn't blame all of y'all. He just point to some picture. Looked like a black woman with her back turned. I'm sure maybe some of you know the incident he's talking about. Again, I didn't recognize the picture of the incident. I wasn't free at that time. I was free in my mind, but my body was not free. But he goes back to something that happened 5 years ago. Not that it doesn't mean anything because it was 5 years ago, whether it was 5 years, 5 days, or 50 years ago, because I talk about stuff that happened 50 years ago. So 500 years ago. So the fact that it was 5 years ago, I'm not minimizing that. But, this is just scapegoating. This is gaslighting constantly and never taking accountability for your own actions or for your people's actions, or you can't take accountability for your own people for what they did. But again, the responsibility of, if you don't agree with what your people did and said, then checking them. But to go around that and to avoid having to chastise your own people, instead you will throw my people under the bus and start talking about something that happened 5 years ago as a reason to justify and scapegoat you not chastising what just happened with your people. We're not talking about what happened 5 years ago. We're asking you about Ashley Gonzales. Stay focused. Full of it. No accountability, no responsibility, and me as a man, I can't respect that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay safe and stay free, people.